Finding the right news podcast can feel like dating. It seems promising until you start listening.
When you hit play on Post Reports, you'll get fascinating conversations and sometimes a little fun, too. I'm Martine Powers.
And I'm Elahe Azadi. Martine and I are the hosts of Post Reports. The show comes out every weekday from the Washington Post.
You can follow and listen to Post Reports wherever you get your podcasts. It'll be a match, I promise.
It's beginning to sound a lot like the holidays. The Roku channel, your home for free and premium TV, is giving you access to holiday music and genre-based stations from iHeart, all for free. Find the soundtrack of the season with channels like iHeart Christmas and North Pole Radio. The Roku channel is available on all Roku devices, web, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, Samsung TVs, and the Roku mobile app on iOS and Android devices. So stream what you love and turn up the cheer with iHeartRadio on the Roku channel. Happy streaming!
At BDO, we know it takes time to stay up to speed on the rapidly changing retail and consumer products industry. That's why we're doing the legwork for you in our new BDO podcast, 60 Second Retail. We'll keep you in the know on events and trends impacting your bottom line in just a few short minutes, so you can spend your time where it counts most, running your business. Check out the latest episode now at www.bdo.com/60-second-retail.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. Yes, a daring approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Brilliant! Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello? Rosa, you don't know nothing.
Well, I read the USA Today and I read the New York Times, and I read those both every day. And I listen to music. I wouldn't really. I mean, it wouldn't do me any good to listen to talk shows, because what's great about America, everybody has an opinion. You know what I mean? But what's also great about America, you don't have to listen to them, and that's the great part. I'm always going to be on the high road. If you're looking for Danny Green, you want to find out where Danny Green is, whether I'm in California, New York, or wherever, look on the high road. That's where I'll be.
Lowercase d's.
Multi-action offensive sets.
You're breaking up, Bob.
You're breaking up.
I mean, I try to fight fire with fire, you know.
What are you doing? Yes! No! Stop! Let's go.
Hello. Okay, hold on.
Border battle! I've seen enough out of Cousins, Paul. Put him on ice.
I'm going to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
A dog with a note in his mouth should be able to sell those ratings.
Time for 2 more questions, guys.
And he's loose!
Stand up, Ford Field! Stand up!
Super Bowl, homeboy.
Sorry, KFAN.
Here we go. Ready?
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the 4th in the North.
No way.
This is the common man, Dan Cole.
Drum and 5, actually. 3, 2, 5. Sounds like more.
cold, dead rigor mortis. Here till 3. Unprepared, uninformed, and unapologetic. That's our calling card. That's what we hang our hat on. At least I do. I really can't speak for my faithful companion, Teneby. To me, what Tonto was to the Lone Ranger. Hi-yo, Silver, away. And then if you want something that's more poised, more polished, or more professional, you come to the right place. You just have to wait about 3 hours. That's Big Ticket. JG, 3 to 6:30. Right cheer on the fan. Thanksgiving fast approaching, Teneby. Good afternoon, by the way. And it's the time
Well, what's before Thanksgiving?
Well, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That'll be on Wednesday. You think about what you're thankful for. And then on Thursday, Thanksgiving, you're thankful for it. And then on Friday, you think about the things you're thankful for. So it's Thanksgiving.
Love that one.
It's Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving, Thanks. I'm glad you reminded me of that bit. I'd forgotten about that one. It's a classic. It's a gut buster.
It's a knee slapper, isn't it?
It's a knee slapper. It's one that makes you go. And
I actually like it because it's repetitive, but only like once a year.
Right.
It's not like an everyday repetitive thing.
Correct. Though now that you've reminded me of it, I'll probably start doing. We're X amount of days away from Thanksgiving, which means, did you know that it'll be about 12 days till the days start? No. When's December 21st? Where the days start getting longer.
That's a month from today.
We're 30 days away from the days getting longer.
Yeah.
How about that? That's a little bit of positivity.
I like it.
Positivity for you. But it's usually when we get around Thanksgiving where I start thinking about the things I'm thankful for. And I also start, for some reason, my New Year's resolutions. Because I make them. I don't know if you're a New Year's resolutions guy. I don't think you are. I am. There's always things I want to resolute to. And it's usually as I get towards Thanksgiving, I start to think about those. And I went back and checked my New Year's resolutions. And not only have I broken all of those, but 7 of my 10 of the 10 commandments as well. But Teneby, I would think. One of the things you're thankful for, other than your family and your health, is you're thankful to be able to work with me every day. And, I know you're an introvert and you don't really like coming out and saying those kinds of things. I don't know if you're that kind of emotional guy. And there would be no better way to thank me than to order a book. What do you think? Only $25, and for you, I'll sell it to you for $20. I've got one here at the station. And then you could share it with your family and stuff, pass it around with the kids and stuff. So
I love how you and I have been in an impasse. I've never read your book because I refuse to pay for it, and you refuse to give me one for free.
Yeah. I also refuse to pay for your tarp shooter, and you haven't given me one of those for free. Should we do a swap? We'll do a gift swap. They have that gift swap.
The jersey swap?
Yeah. Or they'll do it. You get a gift for somebody in the office, and maybe that's what we should do. You give me Now, the tarp shooter's a little more pricey.
It is. I don't think you have much use for it.
Well, I occasionally like to change my own oil in the car so I could throw it down underneath the car to keep the...
That'd be very good for you, yeah.
Keep the oil off the floor. But if... of course, now somebody else had to point out, Teneby, on the KFAN text line, 213 days until they start getting shorter again. So, and that's true. 213 days. Another year goes by. When you're 66, put an extra club in your hand. I'm about to be 66 years old. Never thought I'd make it there. No! And if 6 were 9, I'd be 99. I'd probably be dead.
What age are you feeling like, though?
Much like Rosen. He's strong. Is that one of the most preposterous things ever said?
Yes.
When he said, he was 72 at the time, he goes, I feel stronger at 72 than I did at 45.
Huh?
Your muscles have atrophied. They start atrophying, I think, like when you're in your early 60s. They just start to lose, whatever, density, whatever it is. And it's not like he's been pumping iron like Mike Morris for the past 10 years. He's with who is he with, Mr. Fix-It? I think that's the guy that he lifts weights with, Mr. Fix-It. Probably like a lot of those. Rosen will come in here wearing you can always tell the guys that really don't work hard. They're the ones that have those workout matching, zip up with the jogger pants, right? They're red or they're blue or they're black. Because they wear that when they work out. No, most people don't wear those when they work out. That's just to let people think you're working out.
Yeah.
The one thing about a personal trainer that I will say, and I've done it before, is the one thing they do for you is when you're ready to give up they'll go, give me 5 more. And you go, if you were by yourself, you wouldn't go 5 more. You just say, I'm done. He's telling me to go 5 more. And you do, and you actually impress yourself. The other thing I liked about it, because this was back 1999, 6 weeks before my wedding, and I wanted to look good for the wedding picture. So I talked about this before. I went on the air and said, well, I'd like to lose some weight. Anybody got any ideas? Personal trainer guy who's now down in San Antonio, but Dan Kelly was the personal trainer at Lifetime in Woodbury. He said, I'll get you whipped into shape. And lo and behold, in 6 weeks, he had me lose exactly 15 pounds.
That's impressive.
But what was really amazing was I would go early in the morning because he had such a full schedule. You know, he couldn't fit me in, so it'd be early in the morning. That's why I used to do the bit where I was 5:15
to 5:15.
I was 5:15. If I was I bench pressing 5:15 or what was I doing? Something with at 5:15 I was pressing 5:15. But the thing is when you're on somebody's schedule and if you wake up in the morning and go, you were planning to work out, you just go, nah, not today. And I think a lot, including me, a lot of people do that. A lot of people want to work out and stay committed. But if there's no reason that you have to be there, you won't go. Well, he's waiting for me. He's got up early and he's waiting at the gym. So I can't go, well, you know what?
You can't impose on him.
No, I'm not going to so I would go. And so and personal trainers do help you with the technique. But the biggest thing for me was they push you harder and if they're waiting for you, you can't call them, well, I'm not going to make it. You can, but that's not fair to him or you. So if you want to buy that book, just let me know. I'll give you one if you want one. I'm down to 150 books. I'm not making it up. I mean, they're flying off the shelves.
Sounds like you have a limited amount of books available.
I got a limited number of books available. You can get them at commonmanbook.com. I had to secure the
Is there any holidays coming up that would be great for buying that to give to a friend or a relative?
You usually don't give things to anybody at thanks or Thanksgiving, I don't think. So that would probably, you could suppose that. See if there's anything else out there. There's Boxing Day in Canada. Do they celebrate Christmas in Canada? I think they do. Christmas! I just said it. Yeah, it's coming up. So it's a great gift-giving idea.
It's a great stocking stuffer.
It's a great stocking stuffer. It makes a great thing for anybody that would be looking forward to that. Maybe I was squatting 5:15 and 5:15. Maybe that's what I was doing.
You know what you really need to do? In one of your books, you will give away a pair of tickets to Flopso and Tears. Then those things will just go flying off the shelf. The chance to get those free tickets.
Yeah,
it's like the golden ticket.
Well, then it saves me from having to shatter people's driver's side windows and putting the tickets on their dashboard. That's always a problem. Yada. So let's do this. We'll take a break here. Peek at the purples next. I got a couple of purple nuggets that I want to pass along to you. Spread swing 2:30. Deuce and Mark Rosen. Of course, Rosen will join us at 2, and then spread swing at 2:30. Also, I'm calling for the abolishment of the Country Music Association Awards. I'll explain. It's controversial. I'm about to say something controversial about the CMA Awards.
That's interesting.
We'll do that and so much more. And did we make a mistake trading Big Meow, or as I like to call him now, Bodega Cat? We'll talk about that and so much more. Common Man program on the Fan.
Black Friday is coming, and for the adults in your life who love the coolest toys, well, there's something for them this year too. Bartesian is the premier craft cocktail maker that automatically makes more than 60 seasonal and classic cocktails, each in under 30 seconds at the push of a button. And right now, Bartesian is having a huge site-wide sale. You can get $100 off any cocktail maker or cocktail maker bundle when you spend $400 or more. So, if the cocktail lover in your life has been good this year, or the right kind of bad, get them Bartesian. At the push of a button, make bar-quality cosmopolitans, martinis, Manhattans, and more. All in just 30 seconds. All for $100 off. Amazing toys aren't just for kids. Get $100 off a cocktail maker when you spend $400 through Cyber Monday. Visit bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Come hang out with the Power Trip's Max Fuller tonight at Shakopee Bowl for a Wolves watch party. Get there at 6:30 to watch your Timberwolves in action and to sign up for your chance to qualify for first-round playoff tickets next year. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
The Pilgrims as Santa Claus. 'Tis the season, getting to be that time of the year. We talked a little Thanksgiving and the Christmas holiday. And, Tennessee, I just want to take this time. This is kind of my public service announcement. People oftentimes, I think in this commercialized world, they forget the real meaning of Christmas, right? Mm-hmm. You put up, the commercial, the holiday displays already up. They're back in late October. They barely got the Halloween decorations down, and they're putting up the Christmas, and it's all commercialized, and that's okay, I guess. But the real meaning of Christmas, of course, is about the birth of. I'm really bad with names. Birth of born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. On the third day he rose again from the dead, sitteth on the right hand of God the Father Almighty, will come to judge the quick and the dead.
Jesus.
See, that's it, Jesus Christ. I'm just bad with names. Sorry about that. I forgot that one. But that's what it's all about.
You call him JC because you got a good vibe with him?
Yay, JC. Yeah. Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. Dependable, honest, 24-hour, same-day service. They'll give you an upfront affordable estimate before starting any repair. Go online to schedule at affordable-electric.com. And always remember this, Tennessee, Affordable Electric. Shockingly affordable. Yesterday, by the way, you probably noticed we had a couple guests here at Tennessee. Was Nick and Teresa. They are the owners and operators of Affordable Electric. They came by to watch. I think I was the secondary choice. I think they were in awe of the legendary Mark Rosen, but they came in to watch a bit of the show, and I met with them for like an hour yesterday and talked about their company, and more on that at another time. But just really great people. They are I would say they are the quintessential small business mom and pop operation. They're husband and wife, and they've got their kids working for them. A small operation, but they work hard at what they do. And so, Dad started the company many, many years ago, and the son Nick followed in his dad's footsteps. So I highly recommend my friends at Affordable Electric. They're coming over to my place, give me a complete. I can't remember the exact phrase they use, but they're gonna test my entire electrical system, see if I have any flaws. And also, I have I got a floodlight that doesn't matter how many times I put a new light bulb in, it won't light up. So they're going to look at that for me too. So, and the beauty of it is they're going to give me an estimate before they start any repair. This Peek at the Purple, Tennessee, might also include an apology a segment. I think I need.
Really?
Can you play the
sure
the apology segment? I'm going to make an apology to a certain member of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings.
It's time now for the common man Dan Cole's apology segment.
I'm sorry, so sorry.
The segment where the common man apologizes to someone whose opinion or performance he's mocked and ridiculed.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Here we go. Sorry. Need to apologize, I think, to Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell.
Really?
KOC. He brought it up in the news conference yesterday. He was asked about it, and then esteemed NFL writer for the Fish Wrap Factory, West Side, Mark Craig, wrote about it today. It was a feature story he wrote. Headline: Magician with a question mark, whisperer question mark, good coach question mark. Vikings Kevin O'Connell coaxing more from Sam Darnold than anyone before. Subheadline says, Sam Darnold is completing more passes for more tutties than he ever has. Kevin O'Connell said, what we're trying to get from Sam is to play the best football of his career. And that's indeed what they've done. And the apology, a part of it for me is, I remember, and I think this goes all the way back. It may have even been before training camp. I wouldn't think he would talk about this when Kirk Cousins was his quarterback, because let's face it, Cousins, whether you like him or not, a mercurial character, a very polarizing figure, he can spin it. He knows how to play the position. He can throw the football, right? So I don't think there was probably a lot of coaching up Kirk Cousins, right? With your Sam Darnolds, this is a kid that was drafted 3rd overall a number of years ago by the Jets. We've been through this before. He was... is this too strong of a statement, Tenneby? He was an abject failure in New York, abject failure in Carolina.
Yeah.
He didn't make it. He went from town to town, up and down the dial like me. I was an abject failure as a radio person for many years. Some people would say I still am. Maybe including you, Tenneby. I'm not sure what you think. I know you're thankful to work for me, and I'll get that book in the mail for you as soon as I get that order. But Darnold has played this is his best stretch of football in his entire professional career. Mm-hmm. And what O'Connell had been saying all the time was the way he teaches the position, the eyes have to match with the feet and all this. And I made fun of that. I was kind of like, I said it even like a couple of days ago, maybe it was earlier in the week or last week. It's like, give me a break. Just let the guy drop back, look around the field, spin it, have a guy catch it, score a tutty. Don't force the ball. To me, that's the most important thing. Don't try to force the JJ just because Jets said you should, because I'm Jets. And even if I'm double covered, still get me the ball. You have to trust me and get it to me. And even Jets has backed off on that a little bit, where he said he had the quote before last week's game in which Sam didn't turn it over, didn't force it into Jefferson, said, got to kind of take what the defense gives you. So I think Jets kind of backed off on that a little bit, whether he did that on his own, whether he meant to do it. Remember, if that was sort of a message to Darnold to, you don't have to get it to me. We can't have the turnovers. If the coach coaxed Jets to say that, to get Sam to not, because, and there's no, other than if you make a bad throw, forcing it into coverage, it's not a bad idea to try to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. Last I checked, he's pretty good, right?
Also easier to say when you're 8-2.
Yes, exactly. But, somebody yesterday asked O'Connell, what are you doing? I remember the question, too, and I'm sure you heard it as well. What are you doing with Sam that other coaches didn't do in his previous stops? And obviously, KOC's not going to go, I'm just a better coach than those other clowns. He's not going to say something like that. His quote was, and this is the direct quote from the Fish Wrap Factory, and we heard it yesterday on this very radio station. He goes, well, I can't really speak to any other situations. I feel very strongly about the way we coach the position here. It's definitely a we thing. It's our whole staff. And it's Sam feeling like it's a back and forth thing. He says, there's been some moments when we've come in on Mondays and maybe I coach some things up a little harder based upon the razor-thin margin of error for the quarterback position. When you go back and look at times when it doesn't work out, you better have been coaching principles to try to avoid some of those things ahead of time. And then here's the key quote for me. Then you're circling back to, hey, all this was a feet and eye thing. You've taken this rep 15,000 times since you've been here. But why on this one was this footwork a little off, or why were your eyes in this place instead of right here? So with the success that Darnold's had, especially coming from one week to the next, I mean, that the week before we did win, but everybody realizes that was a little, we stole one there, I think, from, there were, or was it 2 weeks? No, last week. Hey, what was last? No, last week.
Tennessee last week.
It was Tennessee. It was the week before where, we had the 4 field goals, right? Was that the 4 field goal game? Or I'm getting
a couple interceptions as well.
And a couple of interceptions as well. And that was one where I think we kind of stole the game there, despite the fact that, he was trying to force. Wasn't there 3 interceptions, and all 3 of them were intended for Jefferson?
I don't know if we stole it. I would say we almost gave it away.
That's what I would say. I would say yes. That's a better way to say it. We almost gave that game away. But maybe there is something to this eyes and feet. We all know it's a complicated position. The legendary dopey intern guy, notorious DIG, on these very airways with me and you 20 years ago, told you and I, our jaws dropped. We'd never thought of this. quarterback is the most important position in all of sports. And so it's very difficult to play. You know, it's you got guys trying to tackle you, guys are coverage. You know, you got guys running out a certain pass pattern. They're supposed to be at a certain place at a certain time. You've got, you know, if the coverage is breaking down, you've got people putting pressure on you. You've got wideouts that you've got defensive backs and defensive coordinators that know what you're going to do a lot of times. And maybe it is an eye, feet thing that you have to have, at least the way Cousins, or not Cousins, but KOC coaches the position. And it's hard to argue with Darnold's been very good this year. He was the NFC Offensive Player of the Month in September. He's had some issues. He still leads the league in turnovers from the quarterback position, but they are 8-2, and he was really good last week. So
I think the reason you're really good at your job is you have the lips and the tongue thing down.
I do. Well, that's it. And
you really execute quite well with that.
You have to have them coordinate. Every once in a while, you get tongue-tied, and that's when you're going to get sacked. And I hope I don't get sacked anytime soon because I could use the job. Affordable Electric, affordable-electric.com. Remember, they are shockingly affordable. And my apologies to Kevin O'Connell. It's eyes and hands. No, eyes and feet. Eyes and feet that work together. We'll break, come back. I'm beginning to think we're really missing Bodega Cat. We'll talk about that next. Common Man program on the Fan.
Black Friday is coming, and for the adults in your life who love the coolest toys, well, there's something for them this year too. Bartesian is the premier craft cocktail maker that automatically makes more than 60 seasonal and classic cocktails, each in under 30 seconds at the push of a button. And right now, Bartesian is having a huge site-wide sale. You can get $100 off any cocktail maker or cocktail maker bundle when you spend $400 or more. So, if the cocktail lover in your life has been good this year, or the right kind of bad, get them Bartesian. At the push of a button, make bar-quality cosmopolitans, martinis, Manhattans, and more. All in just 30 seconds. All for $100 off. Amazing toys aren't just for kids. Get $100 off a cocktail maker when you spend $400 through Cyber Monday. Visit bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Tune in to Wild Wednesday each week for your chance to win tickets to see your Minnesota Wild in an upcoming game. Wild Wednesdays are presented by Jim Beam, a crowd pleaser since 1795.
Joe Bonamassa, along with Mary Magdalene. Hey, it's a couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 to be. Barney the Purple Dinosaur, the voice of the Vikes, the national treasure. Our paths cross each and every day. I mean, sometimes by the time I get to the studio, he's already left the studio and he is in our production studio with Eric Nordquist, who we affectionately call Nordo. I often call him the pup, but that's a whole other story in itself. And so I don't always talk to PA, but today I came in and he was still in here putting his things together, and I gave him a yada. And then I did the bit that I did on Monday, which I think is hilarious, where I said, the Lions, I was a little disappointed in the Lions. He goes, how's that? I go, well, I mean, you score 7 touchdowns on your first 7 possessions, and then you have to settle for a field goal on your 8th?
You've got to be kidding me.
That's disappointing, and I think the Lions need to take a long, hard look at themselves and maybe need to make some changes from the top on down. And he chortled, I think, Then he said, I got one for you. I go, what's that? He goes, Lions will lose to the Colts this weekend.
Ooh.
That's his prediction. Now, does he really believe that, or is that wishful thinking? And what do you think
Is that with his heart or his head?
Well, that's what I don't know. Yeah. I think that the Colts, they're not a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, like any other team, that's in their situation. They're not having the kind of year that you would expect that I'm sure they wanted to have. Didn't they get off to a decent start, and then all of a sudden they lost, and then Richardson struggled, and then they had to go to Joey Flacco, and that really didn't work out either. And did they win last week?
Well, yeah, so they beat the Jets last week, and I guess I guess if you're going to be on the Colts bandwagon, I understand because Anthony Richardson looked different last week than he had the previous weeks, right? So if you say, hey, he figured out something or they found something in him or something clicked, then maybe they are going to be a different team this week.
You know what else he gave me? Is this the Thursday nighter, Cleveland against Pittsburgh?
That's tonight, yeah.
He picked Cleveland to win that game.
Well, I picked him to win last week against Pittsburgh and it didn't go too well for me.
Look, I'm not going to suggest I'm dissecting, looking at the all 22 with Pittsburgh, but you and I talked about Mike Tomlin the other day. Remember when Bradshaw thought he should be fired? Or at least said he didn't think he was a very good coach? Because Terry's living in the past. When he sees Tomlin accomplishing now, Tomlin hasn't reached the lofty standards of Chuck Noll, who won 4 big games along with Terry. But I think Terry gets a little envious and jealous in his old age. He gets to be, kind of a bitter old man a little bit. And he was not happy with Tomlin and wouldn't back down on it. And I think Tomlin responded. This was a couple of years ago. Tomlin responded to it. And I think he kind of took the high road a little bit, though he may take a little jab at TB. But I think Tomlin, how can you argue with the result? Did I see this? He's never coached a team that's in Pittsburgh that's been under 500 for the season. I don't think they've ever finished. That's what I thought the note was. If I'm wrong, I apologize.
That's correct.
Maybe somebody can help me. It's pretty good. He's won 1 big game. Has he been to 2? I know he's won 1. So the guy can coach, and his quarterback situation isn't anything that, you have 2 guys that are intriguing. Russ Wilson had a lot of people say he had a lot of success, which he did. He won a big game, but he's lost a little, not as much as A-Rod, but he's lost it. And then, the Justin Fields character that they got from the Bears, again, he's been underwhelming to say the least, right? He's had moments, but they've been few and far between. They've been fleeting. And to get in, and then to beat, I was at home, but to kick 6 field goals and beat the Ravens with that, Lamar Jackson's pretty high powered. You got that running game to beat that team. I think that Pittsburgh team's a dark horse in the AFC. I'm not ready to predict that they're going to win the big game, but I wouldn't bet against that club.
Maybe PA's betting against them tonight. Maybe he's thinking emotional hangover, right? Because they had that big tilt with Baltimore last week. And basically, AFC North division title kind of on the line to a certain extent. And they play up for that game. It's going to be a physical game with those 2 teams. And now you get the emotional hangover. Maybe that's what he's going with.
I gave him my prediction. I said, I don't think the Lions will lose again in the regular season, but they're going to get beat in postseason play. And that's a lot of that is my...
Oh my gosh, you are above average at that.
It's like a defense mechanism for you?
Yeah, it is. That's a great way to say it because I always expect the worst. And I know I preach to people all the time not to believe that. Oh, just because it's never happened before. And I do believe that. Just because it's never happened before doesn't mean it can't happen. And I use the Twins as an example. They were 0-18 in postseason play before 2 years ago when they advanced out of the first round or the wild card, whatever it was, play-in round, whatever they call it. And so doesn't mean just because they went 0-18 doesn't mean they have to go 0-19, and they didn't. So, but you and I have brought this up a couple times over the past week. It's why the NFL, there's a number of reasons why the NFL is king, and maybe mostly because of fantasy football, but the idea that there's no best of 3 or best of 5 or best of 7 when you get to the postseason, anything can happen. 2 bad turnovers.
Yeah.
Couple of big plays. Underdog team can upset the better team every single time.
Sure.
So, and I guess that's my defense mechanism.
Well, here's what I'll say about Detroit, though. Like, because they were bad for so long, when they started to get good, I think you doubted that, right? Like, you just thought maybe it was a bit of a fluke.
Yeah.
I think we know now, like, they're not a fluke. They're not a fluky team. They're a legit good team in the NFC. They did have some playoff success last year and very well could have been playing in the big game. So, like, the talent level's there.
Yeah.
They got the experience of going through it last year. They also got the heartbreak of it to keep them motivated. So,
well, apparently the coach, I heard on the telecast this past week, at the beginning of the season, he made the team watch the last part of the game like 3 times in a row. So here, we're going to do a little film work today, boys, and put on that into that game against San Francisco.
I love it.
Here's what happened. Want to have that happen again? I just want you to forget about it, And so, it worked. When I really, really doubted it was after, remember when they started out 2-8 and they made that great run? They won their last 8 games. Missed postseason play, though, because Seattle, before the Sunday night game, Aaron Rodgers' last game as a Packer, which Deuce and I were at, had who needed to lose? I think it was Seattle needed to lose is what it was, and they didn't lose. They won, and so then the Lions were eliminated. Had Seattle lost, and Detroit would have got in. But everyone was saying, "Oh, they're really good. They won their last." I said, "Well, yeah. When you're 2-8, it's easy to go out there and play loosey goosey. Let's see when the games mean something. The next 2 years have been very good.
If they would have got in that year, they would have been in trouble that year.
Yeah, they could have been trouble that year.
They would have been the team nobody wanted to play.
You gave me a link to this tweet that says, Karl Anthony Towns is putting together a career year in New York, now averaging 26.8 points and 12.2 rebounds on 55% field goal shooting, 50% on three-pointers, and 85% free throws over 14 games. Last night in a victory, he was 34 points, 10 boards. He was 12 and 19 from the floor. Bodega Cat, which he is referred to now, that's his new nickname. He was Big Meow. He was Big Meow when he was here, at least on this program he was. Another one of those polarizing, would you call him a polarizing athlete in this town?
Yes,
Timmy?
I would.
There were people that loved him. There were people that loathed him. There were people in between. I think, this is probably too simplistic of a review of his career here, but really talented offensively. Could never doubt his effort. But defensively, there were issues there oftentimes until probably the best defensive performance of his career. And again, I didn't watch every game Big Meow played. I didn't watch many, but what he did to Joker last year in the Western Conference semifinals was really good. I mean, he was there. He had help, but he was more than anybody responsible for slowing the two-time league MVP down and the Wolves coming back. Well, they were down 3-2 in that series. And in that final game, weren't they getting blown out in Game 7 early? They were down like 20.
First half, they're down 20 plus points.
Yeah, it looked like, I was already, thinking, well, Tennessee's going to do the sad eyes. And we have a lot of sound bites in there of unfortunate happenings from the championship or from the final Game 7, but it was not the case. And, I wanted to do the bit. Why do I like to get people going? I know I would get pushback, and I wouldn't even really believe what I'm saying, but it's just fun to go, well, guess we didn't need Bodega Cat, did we? No, we instead of running it back a third time and saying, who cares about luxury tax? Who cares? Let's win a championship. Money can buy championships.
We finally get to a Western Conference Finals with a young team that's in their prime. And we're just going to blow the thing up.
Yeah, we blow it up and bring in Julius Randle. He's like a foot shorter than Big Meow. And some guy, some three-point shooter. Three-point shooters off the bench are a dime a dozen in this league. Well, a little more than a dime a dozen, probably $10 million a year. But you know what I mean. You can find those guys walking around on the streets. Tend to be, you give yourself, I think the basketball does all the work, for one thing. I think tend to be, give you 2 weeks in a gym, you could shoot 35% from three-point range. It's not that hard to do. You can find those three-point shooters. So now we got the versatile Cat. He can protect the rim a little bit. He can play defense, it looks like occasionally. Likes to whine a little bit. Obviously the best, we had our three-point shooter. We didn't need to get DiVincenzo. We had a three-point shooter. So I was going to do that bit, but maybe it's one of those tend to be, I'm going to say it, I hate doing it, but I'm going to say it. Maybe this is one of those trends that works out for both teams. That's what you're always looking for. And maybe it has.
A win-win.
Yeah, a win, because both teams have the same record. I think their records are identical right now. Of course, it's better to have that record when you're in the East than it is the West. I think if the playoffs started
today, difference between a 2 seed and 11 seed.
Yeah, we're out right now. No, wait, they have that little play-in thing, right? Is it 8, 9, and 10?
7, 8, 9, 10 all play.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So right now we'd be out. And Bodega Cat.
We're the 6 right now.
Oh, did we climb to 6? Okay.
We're 8 and 6.
All right. And we got to the 6th spot.
Now 11th is 8-7. So
right.
One loss and we're right back out again.
And there you go. Bodega Cat, they're resting players now. They're doing load management because they're the 3rd seed. So
they're 9-6 and they're the 3 seed.
Yeah. Now someone just texted, check his defense. I know his defensive numbers. There was a week ago, somebody put out his defense. He's the worst defensive player in the league as far as statistical numbers go.
He looked good against Joker last year when it mattered the most.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, every player's got their flaws. And again, I said I was going to go that way because it's just more fun to do that. It's more fun to prod people and cajole people and try to get people going. But I do, when we made the trade, I understood why it was made. The explanations given to me made sense. It's all about. There was an old television show. It was from 1964, 65, 66, or maybe it was 65, 66, 67. It still lives in syndication. It's called Gilligan's Island, and one of the characters was the millionaire Thurston Howell III. And one of my favorite lines, he said, "They speak the universal language, money." And that's the universal language in the NBA or all pro sports, and you got to watch the salary cap. So I understood why they did it. But, man, that 2 big men. Remember when the Wolves first made that deal? There was some weeping and gnashing of teeth. People said, well, wait now, that's not how the league operates anymore. You can't have 2 big guys on the floor at the same time. They'll run us ragged. All they'll do is put 5 small ball guys on the court. And when our big guys are huffing and puffing like newborn giraffes trying to get down to the floor, they'll already have set up their offense and be knocking down threes and slam dunking. We're going to get run off the floor. It didn't work that way. We were still able to advance to the Western Conference Finals. And I'd said when they made the trade, I don't think it's going to work, but I'm willing to try anything at this point. But it did work. It did work. And, the Conley character, is it Connolly or Conley? The GM. It's Connolly. Conley.
Conley's the point guard.
Right. And then it's Kevin O'Connell. We got a lot of Conleys and O'Connells and Conleys in town.
And it's not Peyton Manning, it's Peyton Manning.
Right. We talked about this. He's the best former athlete pitchman ever. I think
pretty good.
He's got a brilliant sense of humor. It's very dry, and he doesn't mind making fun of himself. That's my new favorite commercial.
He's hosted Saturday Night Live before, and he was really good.
Was he?
Yeah.
Peyton Manning. I've never watched the Manning cast. Is that any good? I
don't watch it. It does nothing for me.
Have you ever watched it?
Maybe for 8 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I've not watched it either. I don't.
Or I've seen like clips before that they put on social media afterwards, but.
Yeah, I have not watched it either, but my guess is
I have no desire to watch 2 other people watch the sporting event that I came in to watch anyway.
My guess is they're good at it, though, right? I mean, especially Peyton, because he's got a good sense of humor. I bet if you like that kind of approach to watching football, my guess is they're both pretty good at it, because his brother's loosened up a little bit.
Yeah.
He was when he started, he did a couple of commercials early on, and he was rigid, stiff, very monotone. He's gotten better. Kelsey's good. And his brother's been doing stuff now, too, and he's pretty good. Some of these guys.
What about Rodgers?
I don't see him on.
He used to do the discount double check all the time.
Yeah, he's done now. He's not. I think he missed the recording session. He was in a darkness retreat when they wanted to shoot the commercials, and he couldn't do it. He said, I can't be there. Why not? I'm in a darkness retreat. So I think he missed the commercial shoot for the State Farm.
I feel like JJ should be doing more commercials.
He's
JJ.
Yeah.
There has to be a gritty themed commercial someone can come up with.
I think so. Well, in some of these guys, it takes a while to develop that kind of a personality, to be really comfortable, in the media and doing those. Like, for instance, Tenby, do you remember there was a character called the Taste Fairy? Do you remember that Subway?
Oh, yes.
You know what I heard about the guy that did it? This is how sad this was. The only reason he did those commercials, he was hoping to parlay that into a nationally syndicated talk show. He was hoping that like somebody at Fox Sports, or what's the one we use all the time? What's one of the other networks? For sports networks.
Like ESPN?
Yeah, no, but there's another one. What's the one we use all the time? There's There's Fox. What the hell's the name of the other one? It's been around forever. I'll think of it in a second. But I was hoping one of those people with one of those networks would see the commercials and go, that guy probably can talk sports, and we should probably give him a nationally syndicated radio show. Didn't work out that way.
No.
So that's the way it goes. But
that's what I was banking on, too.
I think we both were. Someone says, have you seen Case Keenum and Josh Dobbs in commercials? Yes. They have the backup guy.
I like the backup bit.
Yeah, and Dobbs does it pretty well. He takes it in stride. They're hanging a picture. He can't do it. They bring in backup guys. It's not a bad concept. I kind of like it.
The concept's good.
Yeah, it's really good. And so
I think the acting could be a little better.
Yeah, well, they don't have a lot of lines either. We're in the 651 Carpets Plus studios. That reminds me. So 651 Carpets Plus guy, there's an owner and then his right-hand man that does the media buys, right? And they did a TV commercial. In media buy, a guy who I text and talk with more than most people know. He's in it without any speaking parts, and I saw it on TV. I said, you're a great actor. He goes, funny guy. Yeah, really funny. Yeah, funny guy, aren't you? So, yeah, I've done the TV work before at 10 to be. The Taste Fair. There's somebody that anytime I tweet, not every time, but many times when I tweet, he'll send a still shot of one of the Taste Fairy commercials. Brings back great memories for me. They pay me a lot of money to do those, and didn't work out exactly how any of us planned, but they were fun to do. I enjoyed it. Westwood One was what I was thinking of, Tennessee. Westwood One. It's time now for the Common Man program on Westwood One. It's a collection of stooges that talk sports, and there's swear words every once in a while because that's how real people talk. Don't sue us. Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the program.
I'm going to start using that disclaimer. Can we get that recorded for the beginning of the show?
We used to have disclaimers before our show.
Yeah, we should do that. We'll take a break. We'll come back. 534, top of the hour. 10, what you got?
Should a local team trade one of its stars?
If you put aside 25 cents every week for a year, what could you get at the end? A few cups of coffee, maybe? A candle? Or you could get a year of the best reporting from all over the world. Go to WashingtonPost.com/BF24 right now. You'll get a Washington Post subscription for 25 cents a week for your first year. This is a Black Friday sale, so it won't last long. WashingtonPost.com/BF24.
It's beginning to sound a lot like the holidays. The Roku channel, your home for free and premium TV, is giving you access to holiday music and genre-based stations from iHeart, all for free. Find the soundtrack of the season with channels like iHeart Christmas and North Pole Radio. The Roku channel is available on all Roku devices, web, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, Samsung TVs, and the Roku mobile app on iOS and Android devices. So stream what you love and turn up the cheer with iHeartRadio on the Roku channel. Happy streaming!
Professionals spend nearly half the work week on written communication, so focus is important. With Grammarly as your AI writing partner, focus and quickly get through work with relevant real-time suggestions. And it works across 500,000 apps and websites, so you can sound more confident and persuasive wherever you write. 93% of professionals report that Grammarly helps them get more work done. Download Grammarly for free at Grammarly.com/podcast. That's Grammarly.com/podcast.